Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin. We're here with episode 2 of Gunbuster. I guess the normal thing to do is have you remind us what happened last time.
Last time there was a lot of training talking about going into space. It was revealed that our main character is, or main character, I'm assuming.
Which one?
You'll see. Is the daughter of a pilot who was
Nope,
well respected but died in space.
not a pilot. She says what he is right at the beginning of the episode. She's giving a report as like I don't know how old she was. It's very odd. When you think about it now, the first time I'm thinking about it, she's giving a report and she sounds extremely old. Not, oh, sorry, wrong direction. Extremely young.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know 2 years later he dies.
Yes.
Okay, maybe they did a time jump. Maybe it's maybe the 5 to 6 years. Sorry, in my head I was thinking that it's only 2 years after she sounded like a little girl, but it occurs to me now that she could have been saying it 6 years after, and that we just saw the newspaper article from 2 years later.
Yep. But either way, we get to the school, which has training for these mechanical suits, not Gundams. I don't know. I doubt they're called mech suits.
They've only been
But
around
we
for a
don't know yet.
month.
Yeah, they've been out for a month. A lot of people are getting it, except for the main character, the coach, who's basically the head of the program that's going to be going into space next. Is there to pick some people. She gets selected along with the clearly top student in the school and some other people. This is an all-girls school, by the way. You can tell by the animation, but it is the 80s. So, what do you expect? And that leads to a lot of bullying, writing on stuffs on the suit, sitting on attack, her trying to quit, and then him being like, "Just work hard." Here's an example of somebody working hard. Now work hard. And it ends with a fight where apparently she's mastered this crazy technique called a lightning kick after getting beat up, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's crazy." And we ended by going into space.
Okay, so you got wrong what her dad did. Do you remember what the coach did?
They, I'm gonna go with no.
The coach served on the ship that her
I'm
dad was
aware.
on.
Yeah, the only survivor.
Yeah, well, we don't know he's the only survivor. We just know he is a survivor.
He said the only survivor.
Did he? Because I remember he
Yes.
said a survivor.
He
One of
said
these,
only, but I don't trust it.
I'm gonna make that was make a joke. Um. Anyway, he's the captain, not the
Yes.
coach. Her dad. Sorry, I couldn't tell. You looked in look in your face. I thought you were gonna respond with something.
Nope.
Sometimes it's hard. You're giving me the Oh, shit. I wish I prompted these things and knowing what my brain wanted to say. Robert De Niro, you're giving me the De Niro, which is to say, I feel like you're about to say something, but you could just be judgy. I don't know.
Uh, Not judgy. I have nothing to add to the clarification. That's it.
Oh yeah, her dad was the captain of the Luxion, of which the coach also served on. All right, well, anything to add before we get in?
Um, no, no, nothing
How
yet.
about this? What do you think is going to happen this episode?
Okay.
Yeah, broad stroke. Just give me a one broad stroke. Something you bet should or will happen this episode.
Space battle. Somebody dies.
I guess that is a broad stroke. Next time I'll narrow it down a little bit more. Okay, looking for space battle slash somebody dies.
Uh, but like not like random creature that attacks or like random pilot from another group, like in the group.
Wait, you just said You just said no to two things. I don't know what you expect to happen now. You said a space battle, but you said not random uh, monster and not random person.
Somebody from our side, like from the good side.
Oh, you're talking about dying
Yes.
or getting into a battle. I'm confused.
Dying.
I think we just leave it at the broad stroke thing. It could be any
Okay.
battle and anybody dying. One of these two things, according to you, should happen.
Okay.
Okay, let's just jump into it.
Let's do it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
R6.
第4波来ます。あと20秒。全速回避。急げ。全速回避。
Now, we know this is the past because it's 2015. So does this count as a battle?
I'm gonna say no, because this is just going over. I'm guessing the death of her father.
いけるんだな。じゃあこいつを乗せてくれ。いいえ。提督が。
Coach!
バカ。お前が行け。
Oh, I was wrong. He's not the captain, he's the admiral.
お前はまだ若い。
Yeah.
生き延びてやらねばならんことがあ
He's
るはず
well above pilot, by the way.
Papa, 8歳の誕生日には帰ってきてね。パパ、8歳の誕生日には帰ってきてね。パパ、8歳の誕生日には帰ってきてね。パパ、8歳の誕生日には帰ってきてね。
Do we get to see what's killing them?
I mean, you asked if he was still alive. Seems like that was an answer.
Yeah.
Also, we know what was killing them, but I mean, more specifically, no. Because she said monsters
Yes.
during her narration report. I don't know what to call it. You know, started as the school report, and then she gives the after, then my dad died, and we don't know who the hell she's talking to.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that didn't count as, are you counting that as somebody dying too? Technically, you could have won if you give yourself the victory in the first minute.
No. No, we already know those events happened.
I mean, technically, we know that he died to monsters. We didn't actually see it until now. I guess from our perspective, though, now we know his final moments were looking at a picture of his daughter or video picture.
Video.
Daring, the girl genius challenger.
本機はあと15分ほどで大中級ステーションシルバースターに到着します。これからしばらくの間、おタバコはご遠慮ください。
The 80s.
本日皆様のお相手を務めましたスチュワーデスは小原夏子、パイロットは村上文夫でございます。お姉様、おはよう。
あれが心臓宇宙戦艦エクセリオンだ。
So the first ship was the Lexion, and our new ship is the Excellion.
Because it will excel.
思ったより小さいんだ。
目をそらすな。
はい。
Still a lot of work to do, apparently.
Yeah. Are we sure we're not joining the Empire in its Star Wars?
いいか、真空の宇宙では距離感と大きさに対する感覚が来る。以後、
Wait, that'd be a hell of a way to do it, wouldn't it? To join the Empire, first thing you have to do is build a Star Destroyer.
Because that looks like a Star Destroyer.
Oh, look, it's the Russian mech. Soviet mech, sorry. 80s. Well, I just mean, that would make every Star Destroyer planetary. You know what system every one is from.
That would.
One of these girls is from the Soviet Union. Let's see if you can figure out which
Which
one.
one?
私がエクセリオンの艦長になる田代辰巳だ。彼女が月面基地のユングフロイト、宇宙戦闘の天才だ。君たちも知っているだろう。
ええ、存じておりますわ。
こちらは天野和美、高谷典子、日本最高のペアだ。仲良くやってくれ。
よろしく。宇宙は初めて？いいえ、3回ほどバカンスで。
Comic book style.
そう、それなら大丈夫ね。
Rivals.
I love how the saviors of the human race all get along.
I know.
諸君の生活の場となる宇宙戦艦エクセリオンは現在急ピッチで建造中である。2月中には
Technically, you said last episode they better have a moon base. Well, she's from the moon base, so technically there is one.
I'm fine with that. As long as they have a moon base.
Also, Excellion should be finished in February, they said.
That's pretty quick, depending on when this is.
And they said
7 months, jeez.
宇宙飛行に慣れることが大切だ。
That's no time.
ここから月を一周して帰ってこい。2人1組のコンビネーション
For all that practice he did back on Earth, now do it in 0G.
外の加速が加わる。
Wearing a ninja mask.
弾き飛ばされるんだ。戦闘より出発。
のりこ、行くわよ。距離270。これでよろしいですか？そうね。固定します。マーカーを消しなさい。2人とも。どうするおつもり？あなたと。
Soviet Union says hello.
お姉様。リンダがダミーのマーカーを持って月へ行ったわ。その子の分もね。すべて OK というわけね。2対1でもいいのよ。宇宙は不慣れでしょ。心配ご無用。お姉様。
До свидания, comrade.
行くわよ。
I am here to fight. Let me stab you with Street Bar.
I mean, we just want to prove who's better, right? We don't actually want to kill anybody. We went through all the rose. We went through all the trouble making sure that your marker was being carried off ahead. So clearly, the intent is for you to come back.
Yeah.
お姉様、どこに行っちゃったの？無重真剣積雲流、八面鉄壁斜め西岸。さすがね、隙がないわ。しかし、なければ私が作ってあげる。
I don't know. Why don't you lightning kick?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a move you can only do in space.
どうかしら。
Safety first.
やるわね。
Yep, so much for the lightning
当
kick.
たり前よ。天才の名は伊達じゃないわ。お姉様。
See, and that's the hatch that doesn't get filled in.
お姉様。
What do you mean, the giant hole in the wall they just made?
Yeah.
どうしたの？もうおしまい？ちょっと待って。何よこれ。え？どこ行っちゃったのかな？はっ。
Butterfly in the sky. Green rainbow theme.
What the fudge?
敵の死骸よ。
That's what it just makes me think of when I see
あ
it.
るなんて。
That gives me Cthulhu energy.
パパは。パパはこいつに殺されたの。こんなやつに殺されちゃったの。
Technically, no.
Oh, I know it's a technically no, but
Because we saw he seemed to have died in an explosion. But the explosion wouldn't have happened without that thing, though, I guess.
のりこの誕生日覚えててくれたのね。
そうさ、のりこが6歳になったんだ。お父さんは光の速さで帰ってきたんだ。
get out of there.
I mean, they blew a hole in the wall. I think they're gonna get caught, no matter what.
Yeah.
訓練中の離脱、軍施設への不法侵入。未だに機密になっている敵標本の露見。どれ一つとっても重営装行きは免れん
No, I should recognize those shoes, but I just don't.
衛装ではお前たちをしごくことはでき
Oh, they look like Converse.
I'm not good with shoes. I know they're signature of some sort.
艦長のところで止めておいてもらった。いいか、これは執行猶予だ。今度一度でも何かあれば、そのまま衛装に放り込む。わかったな。はい。
小さかった頃、私のパパは一年中宇宙に
America.
地球へ降りても家へ帰るなんてことなかったんです。でも一年に一度だけ私の誕生日には必ず帰ってきて言ってくれたんです。のりこ、おめでとうって。その後すぐにまたお仕事に戻っちゃうんですけどね。でもよかった。
Of course, he's
私
the
は
admiral.
ともかくお姉様ね。
Apparently fighting a bunch of monsters.
軍にとって大きな損失ですものね。あ、そっか。それで私もセットで助かっちゃったのか。あら、ごめんなさいね、お二人さん。私のせいでコーチに叱られちゃったんでしょ。ほら、私って人見知りするからあんなことになっちゃってさ。でもやっぱり天野さんってすごいのね。すごいって聞いてはいたけど、あそこまですごいとは思わなかったわ。
I mean, to be fair, all she did was lightning kick you, which you defended.
やっぱり月はいいわよ。胸が軽くって、その点ここは不便よね。ブラはきついし肩は
Also very weird that this Soviet is a Christian.
ねえ、そう思わない？
Very weird.
あ、そうそう。お詫びと言ったら変だけど、私の誕生パーティーに無料招待するわ。再来月の12日。え、私と同じ誕生日？そうなの？じゃあちょうどよかった。合同でやりましょうよ。パーッと。
Okay.
ところであのコーチ素敵。
Kind of wish we had talked more, so I would have to do less censorship.
だわ。
That'd be mostly
okay.
covered up. I think I did that in my original watch, so I just started blabbing so I wouldn't have to do less work in editing.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where there was really nothing much to talk about while it was happening because it was just like,
They shared a birthday.
oh, yeah.
太田君どう思うかね。確かに調査する必要があると思います。問題の物体はペルセウス湾の方向から。高速の 99.8% の速度でこの太陽系に飛んできている。実際には海王星の軌道を
Going really fast.
この質量にしてこの速度
Yeah.
はね。この物
Here
体は
comes the
何か
attack.
調べてほしい。物体の映像は強力なドップラーローレンツシフトのためここでは不可能です。となると肉眼で確認するしかないな。海王星付近で拘束可能な戦艦は戦艦ではありませんがうちの練習艦が小惑星にマラソンに出ています。あの外部エンジンを使えばマシン兵器2体をこの亜高速まで加速できます。天野と高谷を行かせましょう。いや、天野はともかくとしてもう一人はユングの方が良くないかな。天野と高谷はガンバスターの候補です。
Most people, I feel like, would say yes. Jung would be the better candidate.
Uh-huh.
わかった。
I get why that choice was made. If they're gonna fly, or be the ones to fly the Gunbuster, whatever that is.
The name of the show.
That's right. They're gonna fly the show.
Kind of are.
Not wrong.
あっちで1分経つ間に地球では3ヶ月過ぎてしまう。うかうかしてると浦島太郎になってしまうぞ。
Don't rip Van Winkle. I mean, you caught that right. The whole implication of this.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's time dilation. That's how that fucking works.
It's true.
It's amazing that this show is doing that. They've got 10 minutes other than that. God, how much time was going to pass?
上手に帰ってきたらちょうどパーティーの前日よ。楽しみにしているわ。ええ、あなた一人年は取らせないから。おばあさんにならないでね。あなた方次第よ。
カウントダウン入ります。18、17、16、15、14、13、12、11、10、9。
I guess that's really what the bat scene sets up. The whole birthday party thing.
Yes. So I see the purpose of it now. I also think this could be used as a means to age up the characters a little bit.
Literally the opposite. Well, depending on who you're talking about. I would say literally the opposite. Because all this would serve is to keep these characters the same age.
Fair enough.
So the only people that would age up would be the people who don't go with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they've got to get up to, what, 99.8% the speed of light?
Either that or 98.9, one of the two.
目標を肉眼で確認。
どのようなものかわかるか。
宇宙船？人造物。待って、船名が見えます。コーチ、地球の船です。ルクシオン。
The ship we just saw get
Oh.
destroyed!
いかん、高谷を生かするな。
Nah.
何か。コーチ、ノリコがルクシオンに。
I mean, you'd have to, right? No matter what.
空気がある。
Yeah.
この船の中じゃ戦闘からまだ2日しか経ってない。
It's what, been 5 or 6 years, and on this ship it's only been 2 days?
Yep.
So conceivably, if he's still alive in here, he's heading back to his daughter's 8th birthday still.
回収するお前は変速噴射の準備をして待て俺は高谷を探す3分経っても戻らなければ構わず減速しろいいな
Or Papa's gonna be not looking like Papa.
I mean, it can't be great for Coach. He, like, left this ship 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah. I wonder if Dad is a space monster.
It's the main bridge. Thank God we wrote it in Japanese and English. Nope, main bridge ain't there. Which is literally where we saw him at the beginning of the episode.
Yep. He could still very well be alive.
Well, there was no oxygen there either. That was shown to us by her opening the door and like all the oxygen in this compartment just right out into it.
Yep.
このまま壁を突き破る
It's a damning thing, right?
天野回収用意
She thought her dad was dead, and then suddenly, hope out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
And then the absence of that.
収容を急げ
So here's the thing now. 1 second.
減速
Bless you.
For the sake of the show, she's gonna be kept on missions and gonna figure this out. In a realistic scenario, she would be sent back to Earth.
12秒です
12 seconds late.
そうか
Well, it looks like the rebels will already have been dealing with the cruiser.
Past February. Ship's done. We were 12
No, that's
seconds
what I
fucking
mean.
late. We missed the party.
Ships. There's a party.
No, I mean, we missed the birthday party.
ようこそエクセリオンへ
おかえりなさいずいぶん待たされたわ来週いよいよ出発よ
Just remember, it was going to be 7 months before the ship was ready.
お父様の
12
Yep.
seconds.
大変だったわね
Being 12 seconds late really fucked everything up.
元気を出して
Don't.
あなた方にとっては6ヶ月前のことかもしれないけど私たちはつい1時間前まであの場所にいたんです彼女はしばらくそっとしておいてあげてください
He'd be going through it.
パパ誕生日は半年も前に終わっちゃったけど
Well, I mean,
今日
rightly
2人だけで
so.
パーティーをしましょう
It's hard to everybody else to like get on board with it. It's like, oh, I've been out here for 6 months. It was an hour for me.
のりこね大きくなって
Exactly.
宇宙に行くのだってそしたらいつもパパと一緒だもの
What year did this come out?
80s, I don't remember. I can't say I remember, I don't know. I want to say it's an 80s Guy Next property, though. And I mean, to be fair, her dad was probably never going to be with her all that time. She probably would have aged out him, considering the fact he was traveling at near light speeds. the entire time.
1988.
Yeah, so 80s, like I said.
No, a lot of the music is super similar. That's funny. The music from here might have inspired some of the background music from Armageddon, because there's a lot of similar orchestral beats. I don't know if that's true. It could just be coincidence because it's both dealing with space, but
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know that I'd have any weigh in that would matter to anybody.
well, I've said this in front of many people, and I know it's not a great movie, but my favorite movie of all time happens to be Armageddon.
Really? I don't think you've watched a
Yes.
lot of movies.
I've watched a ton of movies.
I can't say anything.
It's so cheesy, and it's so...
You know what my
it just
favorite
gets me.
Oh, next. There's a preview.
宇宙の海は俺の海。地球を離れて1万パーセクの星空で女子恒例の肝試し大会。でもコーチに見つかって大目玉。罰当番はレーザー砲のレンズ磨きなの。はあ、腰が痛い。そこで知り合ったちょっと素敵な男の子。合戦雲の下でいいムードと思ったら突然の敵襲。初めての実戦。一撃必殺のカリフォルニウム核爆弾。神様、
California
明日の
nuclear
祈り
warhead.
子をお許しください。次回トップを狙え第3話。初めてのときめき、初めての出撃に稲妻キー。
So I guess we just didn't get it next time on the first time.
Yeah.
Anyway, my favorite movie is Cube. So what the fuck do I know? I've seen a lot of movies, and Cube is my favorite.
Oh, and it's one of those things where I know Armageddon is not a great movie. And the premise, wild. But I love it so much.
I guess I'll just double down and also say Cube, Canadian movie. Huh. So,
It makes it better.
yeah, sometimes. Screamers is also a great movie, and that's also Canadian, I believe. I think I've mentioned to our watchers a number of times, The Odyssey, which is a Canadian TV show, Ryan Reynolds' first acting gig.
I was going to say, Ryan Reynolds, Canadian.
Yeah. Deadpool,
Ryan
also
Gosling,
Canadian.
Canadian.
I don't care about Ryan Gosling. Ryan Reynolds is fine, because he plays Deadpool, who is also a Canadian superhero. He's a Canadian mercenary.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are over Deadpool shit, but I mean, he's the only comic that I've read from, like, Inception to Marvel Now, which was, like, 2012, which is the most I've ever read any comic, so.
I enjoy Deadpool.
My intimate knowledge of the Marvel Universe is actually only through Deadpool's eyes. Because, again, I've read 90s Deadpool from when he first started to 2012 Deadpool, where he was supposed to have died, sort of, so. And I didn't read what came after that. Plus, I've also read Agent X, which is technically a guy who thinks he's Deadpool. So, kind of that thing, too.
Yes. I don't have the biggest comic knowledge base, but for any of like the media stuff that's like MCU adjacent, I've watched basically most of it.
Oh, I told you before that I used to do forum-based role-playing. We were discussing before Digimon once. Before that I was doing DC. Well, after the Digimon thing, I did Marvel stuff. And in the role-playing thing, you have to like write the backstory of your character to show the people that you understand the character. So what I would do is I would go to the websites that list, okay, here's all the appearances of that character in history, in the history of comics, and I would just go through and I'd fucking read the continuity, you know, like they have Golden Age, Silver Age, and all that stuff. So you read like the specific continuity of the character you want to play, and it would be, you know, all the comic appearances between 1980 and 1990 or something like that. I was like, okay, These are all the stories. Here are the really good ones. Here's the ones I'm going to take inspiration for roleplay. Blah 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 blah. Well,
Yeah.
I did that, but with Deadpool. That's why I know Marvel from Deadpool. And the reason I like the Marvel movies is because I don't know Marvel that well. Versus I know DC pretty damn well, so I hate the movies.
That's why I'm excited to see what James Gunn does.
I'm disappointed. Not because of any of them, because he's with DC. I'm disappointed that he left Marvel.
Yeah, I get it.
I really like Guardians of the Galaxy, so it was a really good having him
Guardians
there.
Guardians was phenomenal. However, a lot of James Gunn's work within Marvel was it only would have fit in Guardians style projects and like beta, like if you used a Beta Ray Bill and stuff like that.
Would have been fine.
But
give us another Thor. Give us a third Thor. Why not?
give us James Gunn Thor. I'm down for that. But
I don't know.
I think-
love Taika Waititi. I couldn't say his name. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love Taika Waititi too. Our Flag Means Death is a great show. He's done so many great things.
I don't like him with Thor.
I think it's fine. I mean,
I want to get back to the Shakespearean drama with Thor.
I don't need that.
I want somewhere in the middle. But with DC and James Gunn, if you look at the DC villains, they've got some weird ass villains.
My
They've got some
problem is
weird ass.
my problem is if you're gonna do that, then I want to see James Gunn do the Flash, because the Flash has the best lineup of villains. But I don't like the guy who's playing the Flash, so like I love the Flash. He's like maybe my second.
We don't
favorite
know who's playing the Flash
currently. Oh, I didn't realize James Gunn did the Belko Experiment. I love that movie too.
because all of the Big Six, all the Justice League people aren't coming back, or if they are, they're not playing those roles.
I'm just saying, I am so put off on DC because of Ezra Miller, and the fact that I love the Flash. I love old school Barry Allen Flash, not so much
Yes.
the CW Barry Allen Flash, but
It
Old
had
school-
moments, but they ruined it by having him not learn.
I don't know. There's just a general feel to that show that just doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
I watched maybe a season of it, and I loved that they used old school Flash old school Flash as the dad, because I also watched all of that, the original. Like in the 90s, I think I watched that.
Eventually, they pulled him back into the series as the Flash as well when they started to do like timelines and shit.
Yeah.
So like it had cool moments, but it never quite hit it on the nail. But from the DCEU stuff, as far as I know, there's only one of the Justice League main cast coming back, and they're not playing any members of the Justice League. The only person who I know has actually confirmed it and been in serious talks is Jason Momoa.
Hit or miss.
And it's to play the character that he should have played the entire time,
Hold on.
which is
Hold on.
Space Jason Momoa.
Wait, Space Jason Momoa. Who the hell? Fuck, I'm trying to think now.
You're muted.
Am I muted? Still?
No, nothing.
How about now? How about now?
There we go. That's better.
I would say it can't be muted. The thing's picking me up.
Something might have switched on my end.
Okay.
Uh,
Hold on.
however-
Hold on. Still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing changed on mine. Literally, I was just
Perfect.
clicking different. I was saying "Don't tell me," and then you couldn't hear me to hear you say "Don't tell me" because I was trying to guess, and you said "Space Jason Momoa," and now I'm trying to have a hard time. Unless you're saying Superman, I don't think Jason
Nope.
Momoa is Superman.
He was not.
Yeah, what's his
Jason
name?
Momoa-
Orion? You're not saying Orion, are you?
Nope. Jason Momoa was Aquaman.
Yeah, no, I know. You're saying who he should have played, and I'm trying to think of
Who he should have played.
who's Space Jason Momoa. You're not
Have
talking
you?
about Martian Manhunter, are you?
Nope. If you've ever
No.
watched interviews with Jason
Oh,
Momoa,
John
one
Stewart.
character sticks out.
John is it
You
John?
are so far off.
God, I'm trying to think. Who's space? I'm trying to think of every space character and every jacked space character I can think of.
You were so close. So you were close with Superman, but you're not close in the way you might guess.
Zod? No, it can't be Zod.
Nope.
Uh, close with Superman. Is he Kryptonian?
No.
Non-Kryptonian.
Non-Kryptonian connected to Superman
From space.
from space. He's connected to multiple other heroes, but Superman is the biggest connection
It's not. It's a villain. I'm guessing it's a villain, right? So
for the
Darkseid.
most part. Nope. For the most part.
God. Okay, just tell me. I'm gonna drag this out if you don't tell me.
Lobo.
Oh shit! You know, I have in my feed a number of comic channels, and some of them have been like Lobo beats Superman's ass, so it must be happening in comics. You know, I played Lobo in a DC forum before.
But yeah,
I've read all of Lobo too, except for that time in New 52 where they made him like a thin, gangly guy, and it turns out that it's not Lobo. Real Lobo comes and kills that guy who was pretending to be Lobo. Huh. I guess. I guess if they do the sting on him, like, you know, cover him in white makeup, he could pull it.
yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, maybe. I could see it.
If there is any actor that is meant to play Lobo, it's Jason. If you watch the interviews,
You know, if this was 20 years ago, you know that guy, there's a guy who's famous for playing a bum in a lot of movies, but specifically you'd remember him
Okay.
as the guy who gets his clothes stolen by the Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator.
oh my god,
That guy would be a perfect Lobo. He plays a bum in a lot of movies. Like, I think he's all. Now I'm thinking of somebody else when I'm thinking about the guy who's sleeping on a bench in Back to the Future. But he does a bunch of those similar roles. I think he gets killed in From Dusk Till Dawn in another similar bar scene.
yeah. Hold on, I think I know who it is. I think it's Robert Winley.
His name is never gonna strike anything with me. I know him from those things.
I see it.
Like you said, if it was 20 years ago, obviously he's aged out of that. But in my head, I'm an 80s movie guy, so
Well, because so even with Jason Momoa, he looks jacked most of the time in movies, but he doesn't work out unless he's being paid to work out. He will rock climb. He will hike. He just does stuff like that because that's his hobbies. But for him to lift a weight, you have to pay him a lot of money.
I mean, sure. And I think we all appreciate that Henry Cavill is just a fucking nerd.
Yeah. But either way, this episode, like the world building, love the science behind it. The fact that they stayed relatively close to it. Also, the mystery continues with the cockpit thing.
I mean, keep in mind, we
Um,
haven't seen the science of this episode yet. That's the bonus thing afterwards. That science was told to us last episode.
Yeah, but it's a good showing of that science. Also, happy that the Star Destroyer doesn't actually look like a Star Destroyer. It just looked like one while it was being built.
I mean, that was your thing. I just thought it was a funny little concept if the Galactic Empire made every star system that wanted in build its own Star Destroyer. Because then you have, you know, I have to support that Star Destroyer. It's from where I live. It's like a sports team thing.
It's true, and that's also a great way to endear planetary systems to you. Because you can be like, hey, we have work for you guys. Look, you can work for years because of us.
I think I consider maybe something similar to that in an anime called Legend of the Galactic Heroes, where these ships are like in the Empire. There's multiple factions. There's even a third faction in Legend of the Galactic Heroes, but like the Empire ships are all fancy and old and huge, and like you have to take like a train to get from one side to the other.
Yeah.
And I think it's like there's something some guy says that made it imply to me that these ships are old, and it's like he's being told not to rush into a combat because it'll sour the story of our fleet, and you don't want to ruin the heritage of our fleet or something like that. Which implied to me that these ships are way older than they seem to be.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, I mean the main jump out to me of this episode was obviously the hey, we returned. That ship that we were building that's supposed to be finished in 7 months. It's done.
Yes. I also like the way that they established respect between the Soviet pilot. I'm just gonna say pilot. The Soviet pilot and our best from Japan.
Also, the concept is the dad still alive was with me the first time I was watching too. So when she's like
Again,
trying to get into the bridge and she rips it open and he's gone, and it's like, well, that's disappointing. Because I was really hoping that he was like the ship has been only gone for 2 days, and it's like, well, maybe he's trying to make it back for her birthday. That would be a thing.
Yes. I'm curious if Ad is inadvertently behind these attacks trying to get back.
Well, I mean, you got your first look at the monsters, as it were.
Yeah. Which the monster... I don't know where to go for the monsters, but I think we'll see more on that next episode.
Yep, first sortie, first love.
Yep.
Well, I guess the first thing to do, though, is to get into the science bit before we go anywhere
Exactly.
else.
トップを狙え科学講座。さて今回のお勉強は光の速さの世界についてです。やった。
Okay.
いいえ、超高速、つまり C プラス工法。ワープについてはまた今度。
Warping is different
光より少
than
し
what
遅
we
い夜
just
高
did.
速の世界ではいろいろと不思議なことが起こります。高谷さん、言える？はい、スターボーと浦島効果です。そう。
When I first saw Rip Van Winkle, my head went to Rob Van Winkle for some reason.
And now I'm thinking Rob Van Dam.
宇宙船の前方に集中した星がドップラー効果で七色の輪っかを作るんですよね。公式と絵も用意しました。すごいわ高谷さん。よく調べましたね。コーチの言う努力と根性ですよ。
甘いぞ
Hard
高
working
谷
guts!
コーチ、いつの間に。
まだまだだ。浦島効果を説明してみろ。
はい。今日の話で7年前にパパのルクシオンが遭難したんだけど、その船の中ではまだ2日しか経ってなかったり、
7
私
years
が
to
作戦
days.
タイムを12秒もオーバーしたから、地球では半
12
年経ってい
seconds,
た
6
意地悪なアイン
months.
シュタインの仕業です。
高谷、意地悪なのはアインシュタインだけじゃないぞ。ローレンツもフィッツジェラルドもガモフも意地悪だ。
気をつけま
It's
す。
fun.
この公式をよく覚えておけ。これがローレンツ変換式だ。
ルクシオンは
Okay, memorize those formulas real
メインエンジンのシャトル
quick.
はフル回転してたんだけど、バニシングモーターが破壊されたので無限に加速されたんですね。
その通りだ。いいか、天野、高谷。宇宙ではどんな小さな事故も致命的となる。それを乗り越えるのは努力と根性だけだ。
はい。
返事がいいな。
それじゃまた。バイバイ。
I mean, I don't know what it went to, but velocity divided by the speed of light divided by the square root of 1 times the velocity divided by the speed of light squared was one of those formulas.
That's I don't.
I mean, that's what V and C stand for. So,
Yeah, 100%. I did not look that close.
well, they were describing the Rip Van Winkle effect. It's like I already know what that is, so I could look up for a quick second to show off at the end. I mean, I don't know what that goes to. I don't know what I would need to know velocity divided by the speed of light for, let alone the square root Well, also, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I square root something that I've squared?
For exponential growth.
Doesn't make sense. Well, again, it's velocity divided by speed of light
Yep.
divided by the square root of velocity divided by the speed of light squared. So we've doubled a thing by itself to then square root it back to its original thing, which is then to be divided by itself, and on top it's being divided by itself to then be divided by itself. Right?
If I caught that correctly, yes.
And the only variable in there that's changing is velocity.
That's true, because the speed would change the amount of time that passes and hence affect the formula at the only point that actually has variance.
Well, given that this is also only part of the formula, there is
Correct.
a formula that this is supposed to equal to, and this was only the first part of a sequence of other formulas. So, did not fully remember
Correct.
the whole sequence. I just remembered the part that was happening between Coach's head and our main character's head. So,
Yes. Either way, it seems like it's built off of actual scientific formula.
well, yeah. Well, again, it's half and half. Some of these people that are in the background are fake, and some of them are real, like the guy who invented our modern physics. You know, we went with the age of Aristotle, or did they start with Einstein? I think they started with Einstein.
Einstein.
No. They started with Aristotle, then they went to Einstein, and now we're living in the modern age of that guy from
No,
last episode.
they went Einstein, Newton.
So no,
oh God.
you're already wrong. It has to have been Newton, then Einstein, and
Newton,
then
Einstein, then what? Guy with the gate.
there was a T guy. It was T something. He's not real, so you're not remembering him because he's not real. Because obviously we don't have those gates.
Hold on.
No, don't make up a guy that's not
I'm not.
real.
I'm not.
I'm just saying he's not real. He's a fake guy. They made him up for the show.
Okay. I think it's actually based on an actual theory, but they just put a name to it.
Oh yeah, I mean most science fiction is. Tannhauser? Is that what you want to go with?
Yes, Tannhauser.
Apparently it's also from Blade Runner.
I knew I had heard it somewhere.
Well, apparently there's a frequent asked question is there a Tannhauser gate? Which is also in the wiki article about Tears in the Rain monologue. And, well,
Yes.
I'm guessing it's from Blade Runner because I only know the one Tears in the Rain monologue. Saw them burn off.
Tannhauser was a German poet and word I can't pronounce, whose poetry dates from 1245 to 1265.
Yep. Well, we're not living in the age of poetry. God, I hope not.
Like I said, I knew that I had heard of Tannhauser, Tannhauser Gate before.
Honestly, I was probably thinking of the main character's name from Blade Runner. Not Blade Runner. God damn it. Oh shoot. It's the memory movie. The second memory movie that comes to my head after I said memory movie. Obviously, the first one that comes to my head is Overdrawn at the Memory Bank, which is a Raul Julia movie from the 80s. Or late 70s, possibly.
Late 70s.
I'm talking about the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, Total Recall?
Total Recall. Main character's name is
No idea.
Hauser. Something Hauser. Well, that's his original name, possibly, if you believe he's actually working with Quaid. No, Quaid's his real name. Quaid... Who's the bad guy in Total Recall?
Oh god.
The guy who's also the bad guy in RoboCop, and possibly everything else from the 80s. I want to say Quaid, but Quaid's obviously his name.
Richter is his in-movie name.
No, Richter is the guy whose wife he's sleeping with. No, Richter might be Richter's the bad guy. Never mind. Who am I thinking?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Michael Ironside's character I thought was Richter for a second. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going. We're wildly off track. Almost like a DC conversation all of a sudden.
It's true. Then there is also Velos Cohagen.
Cohagen. Cohagen is the bad guy in the movie. So Richter is the guy whose wife he's sleeping with.
Yes.
And his name is Dennis Quaid, and we've decided it's all coming back to me. Dennis Quaid is his name. Or no, Dennis Quaid is an actor. You know what? I think we should just stop before I go down the rabbit hole further. We got another episode to record today, and we're going to be here forever just talking about 80s movies if I just let me. So, I think that's been it for us today. I have been Theta. This has been Justin. We've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?